how did you ideate the concept for financials? How did you see the market for that?
I was consulting stake properties, one here in UAE, one other friend I was consulting. So I always see that they run Excel sheets and they don't get the data they want, and then a lot of companies dies because they don't get financial data on time, right, on table. So how can we solve that through tech?
We can organize the teams, but what about customer and their data? How do you organize that? How do you make sure clients are providing data on time?
That's a very difficult problem solve, right? My accountants or tax team tells we are more call center agents than accountants, because you have to follow up.
What do you think the biggest challenge with SMEs are? Why they don't want to be financially sound? And how do you think you can solve that?
The biggest problem SMEs face challenge is financing, access to financing. Why they don't have access to financing? They don't have clean financial data or clean financial management.
I want to know about corporate tax as well. Why do you think it's a game changer move for the whole UAE? And how are you planning to guide more and more SMEs for that, and then helping them with saving taxes as well? So Shafeekh is with us, who has literally changed the accounting and bookkeeping space here in UAE with his technological background, and his AI-led revolution in such a taxation space was not easy. Thank you, Shafeekh,
Thank you.
for coming today on Business Banking and Beyond.
Thank you, Ahmed.
So Shafeekh, I'll start first of all with your background. From where exactly you put up from, and how did you reach to UAE?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting question. I am from India, from Kerala, South. I'm building a venture since age of 19. My first venture was in Bangalore, and then I eventually moved to Kuwait. I have done a couple of ventures in Kuwait. Then wanted to take a break. Wanted to went back to India. Just thought of, let me retire now. Just chill some time. And got bored living there. COVID hit. I wanted to go to US, so wanted to apply for a visa. So I thought, let me just go to Dubai and take a break, see what's happening. And I came to Dubai, and then kind of started the company here. That's why I ended up in UAE. I came in 2022 last. So towards end of 22, came to here and started.
So you're an accidental entrepreneur also for financials.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm always entreprising. I call myself as an entrepreneur. I look at ideas, get excited about some problems, good problems to solve.
So most of people in UAE know you from Financial CEO, and me myself as well. I really want to know about your other ventures as well. How did you started them? What was those ventures, and what was your learning from those ventures?
That's interesting. So I basically started my first venture. I was a 19 years old kid. Went to Bangalore. Started a co-learning space where I was a student. I wanted to make some money while learning. So I started a co-learning space. I told a couple of people, you come along with me, I'll teach you, and I'll give you library, books and everything, and you pay a membership.
Okay. So as a 19-year-old, you started a co-learning
space.
Which means what exactly? As a tutor or what?
It's actually like, you can be a member of, I was not very good the idea of sitting in a classroom and, taking lessons and lectures, right? I wanted to find a space where everybody can learn together, peer-to-peer learning.
Okay.
Right. So peer-to-peer learning, you just basically take a membership in my space. You come here, we discuss about a particular topic, and then we learn together. I'll bring the books, library, everything, right?
How did this came to your mind?
I was bored of the typical traditional class lecturing style, right, where you go and sleep the whole day, where I wanted to be more engaging and having more brainstorming discussions. So, and while teaching others, you learn, right?
Of course.
So that's the idea.
So I think the rebellion entrepreneur is always there.
Yes.
And you wanted to shift from that traditional thing of learning. So you did this. So how did it went? What exactly happened with that?
It actually got a couple of people on board, but it didn't go well. Honestly, I took my mom's, gold and everything, put it on loan, and everything is lost. What happened is there was, two problems. One was there was some real estate, things. I was new in Bangalore, so you were not supposed to set up a co-learning space there. So the licensing, everything, and then the huge rentals. Second, I also didn't have money for myself to live. So
Okay.
business is doing okay, but I can't pay my myself expenses, my family and things. So
That I think is a very big problem whenever a entrepreneur starts a business. He's not able to figure out finances. It was your first venture is a different story, but many a times we go out with passion, started, but eventually feel what are we doing?
yes,
Happens. Okay.
and I realized that it's not failed because of a business doesn't have a problem. It was a good problem to solve, but I didn't have money for myself to be patient enough to give the space to grow, right? And then I started doing buy things from market. Like in Bangalore, there's a Chickpert Friday market. So I go there, buy chairs and things, and sell it in OLX.
Okay.
So this is how I used to make money for my living.
Okay.
Right, and it's kind of baffled, and I lost the battle there.
So what was your learning out of that?
You always have like 12 to 24 months money in your bank, before starting, even thinking of a business, right? A lot of people are slaves of salaries because if you don't get the paycheck, you suffer, right? So I had to come out of that first, right? That I have enough savings 24, because any business take 12 to 24 months
Minimum.
to, so you should be able to pay yourself and your family a check. This was biggest lesson I learned, right? And always have a plan B. If one person fails to join, you have another person, right? You shouldn't be depending on anyone. End of the day, you should be keep floating. So these two things, I realized from there. Then I thought, my family has already started pressurizing that you don't have a penny, right? And so I went and took up a job. I came to Dubai in between. Uh, I saw like the whole things right here, what's happening, and I thought I need an international brand in my resume so that I can be safe for my family, right? If I do anything tomorrow, I can take up a job even if I fail. So I went and hunted where I can join, take a job, and then I joined in one of the big 5 consulting firms called Grant Thornton.
Okay, Grant Thornton.
So I did a consulting job there in Grant Thornton quite some time. Then like settled a bit of things. My friend had a business in Kuwait. He was very successful, so he tells me, why don't you join with me? We always meet, right? And he tells, you have good business acumen, but you need to get right. I said, I don't have like, again, the finance problems and things. He said, why don't you join with me? Whatever we do, we'll do. I joined with them in Kuwait. I dropped the job again, went into kitchen. We did a cloud kitchen
Okay.
in 2016. That was in, and we did it 2.5 years, that business. We sold that to a family office.
Okay.
Part
At
of
what
it.
valuation you went there and what was your selling point?
No, it was out of situation because we grew so fast. And the guy who, we had a shareholder, local sponsor, he said, I'm selling the company.
Okay.
Right. And he wants 100%. So we had to forcefully
Sell.
sell, right?
Okay.
So we all got exited from there. And my friends is still doing that business very well. I went into last mile logistics. I wanted to start next business. I met some family office, some guys there. They're doing great job in startup ecosystem. That's how I got into tech and things.
Okay.
So I told them I have an idea. I wanted to start. They said, you come. We'll do venture. Right? We'll do like 50-50 venture, and then they gave me a couple of clients to test. And I got excited about the clients more than my idea because they already put shitload of money into that businesses and it's not doing well. right? And I started looking at the first business. It was an IT company in based out of Noida, and
Okay.
they had a back office in Noida, and 40-50 people. So 3 months it was profitable. It was loss making unit. Then they gave me another thing. Can you look at it? I became very close to them. They're very one of the top families in Kuwait. So I became very close to them, and eventually they had one big investment in last mile logistics.
Okay.
So this was also not doing well. They were burning huge cash. So the last person also leaving from the company. They said, can you negotiate with that girl? She's leaving, and try to retain her. So I put up a structure, discussed and negotiated, right? And I said, what if I consult you for 3-4 months? And that business I got very excited because I was last mile logistics. I had problems in deliveries when I was doing cloud kitchen, right? And I know that this is an easy, good business to do, right? Market is there. So I told them, why don't we do this segment? I got interested, but I didn't tell them, I'm interested in this business or something. But I'll help you. Let me also put my hands and test it. Then it started growing. I consulted CEO on back, right? I put up the KPI structure, look at what needs to drive. And eventually there's come and said, we have a proposal for you that, why don't you join as a CFO for the whole group? And, you help us to run the whole company. Then we'll give you like shares, ESOPs and all those things. You shut down the venture you are planning. So I thought it's a good idea. They have all the political connections. They have the money, lack execution. And I'm good at that. So I took up that. We did like 2.5 years, which extremely well. One of the top brands in Kuwait. Everybody knows the brand very well.
Last mile logistics.
Last mile. I put up the team. I brought the CTO, brought the whole tech team. The entire team was built, and I built a B2B vertical logistics. It's one of the top, the largest probably in Kuwait. Then 2-3 years I did. That's where COVID hit, and it's still running. They're doing good, but I got lost interest in that. This again, you have like a CEO sitting, and I thought I can do something myself.
Okay. That's where financial came in the picture in 2022. So how did you ideate the concept for financials? How did you see the market for this product?
So the whole tax is coming, right? So I was before starting financials, I was consulting a couple of my friends in managing finance.
Okay.
Right. So my whole background is in finance. I was consulting stake properties. One here in UAE. One other friend. I was consulting. So I always see that they run Excel sheets and they don't get the data they want, and then a lot of companies dies because they don't get financial data on time, right, on table. So how can we solve that through tech? So this was my idea, but there is no like. If I look at my friends in Kuwait, if you tell I'll help you to manage your finance better, everything, there's no push. It's still a vitamin solution. But I did my research. Then I got to know the UAE is introducing taxes, right? Then it becomes a painkiller solution. So there's a push, and then you give vitamin along with that. So the market always pull. There's a regulatory tailwind. It's a good time, and market is big, huge, right? There are 500,000 companies. Even if I tap 1%, 2% of the market, I do extremely well. Right. So these are the dynamics I looked at from a TAM SOM perspective, right? And drilling down into unit economics, it's always accounting firms are making money, right? Always good businesses. I don't see any CSAs that I don't make a penny, right? Having like 100, 200 clients. Maximum they have the problem they don't have clients. If they have clients, everybody makes money. It's a recurring, high retention, high LTV business, right? So this is the whole things, right? And how can I bring tech? Because I've always running tech-enabled businesses. If you look at my background, last mile logistics, very complex business. People, deliveries goes all across the country, right? And how do you manage the unit economics and make that business profitable? is more challenging than making this business profitable, because this is accountants do monthly ones, easier people to manage. Right, drivers goes morning and night, every order you have to look at unit economics. So I thought I have right skill set, and I'm the right person, and I have right passion for this business, because I do care about entrepreneurs. I do like to listen to business owners. So the multiple factors, I like finance a lot. So I have a lot of intersection that makes sense. I got right skill set. I understand tech. I understand how to run a fast-paced company, how to run a tech-enabled business. So all aspects are there. So I thought it's a right idea to.
So when we discuss about accounting firms, mostly it's Excel sheets, manual process, old traditional ways of managing client. How did you bring tech in that, and how are you scaling that in financials?
So it's it's a simple thing, right? It's not a rocket science tech. So basically, how accountants run. Now, traditionally, when I used to manage finance for the companies that I used to work, I sent a calendar to my accountant, right, telling payroll is 25th. Have you prepared? Yes, accept the calendar. These are the items you need to do, right? And 29th, I'll send have you closed the books? Check. Have you filed tax? Everything I set it up a calendar, and I said only you accept when you did the job. This put the whole ox on a structure. So calendars, task, checklist are important. So we built a project management software. So now if you become a customer, your entire calendars are prepared, tasks are prepared, things are super organized. So if I wake up as an accountant in the morning, I can see 10 tasks to do today. And this customer wants to do banking, this was customer who has to do payroll, this customer has to do. So entire things are automated. So I can manage as many as customers.
There is very important question which always comes to my mind. In this specific business, we can organize the teams, but what about customer and their data? How do you organize that? How do you make sure clients are providing data on time?
That's a very difficult problem solve, right? My accountants or tax team tells we are more call center agents than accountants, because you have to follow up. Right. The unfortunate, we don't have open banking APIs in this market, right?
Yeah.
If they would have had APIs, we could have easily connect and get this data, right? And once you connect and get the data, it comes to system. If you send in WhatsApp, it already stored in our system. That is there, right? Bills are stored in our system. Everything is stored properly. Only the thing, if you don't have like a bank statement, we have to chase. Now we set up automatic, like triggers, drips to customers to give these things. But in essence, it should have been an integration that we are trying, we are pushing for that. Then the whole job becomes easier. But right now, we don't have a solution to follow up. You have to do multi-modal follow-ups, calls, WhatsApp, email.
Okay. In this world where we are always speaking about AI, I have seen some of your posts also mentioning about speaking with a chat GPT or your tax GPT. What is that? Can you share some light on that?
Yeah, so see, the whole business, right? There's never problem in demand, never problem in getting a business, right? The problem is that the labor work required to serve customers is humongous, right? How do you automate this? One of the problem our sales team mostly are call center agents answering customer tax queries. Every day we get so many questions from customers asking, about this tax, that tax, and they keep answering that or go back, and it's a lot of consultation that happens. How can we automate that? Let's build all the past questions being asked by customers. Let's put everything, train the models, put a GPT so that they can at least answer the basic questions. So our customer service things will go down at least, right? That's why we bit GPT. We have like bunch of automations like bills booking, OCRs. Now you upload your bank statement, it categorizes automatically and tells you, this is where the accountant spend time. So for me, my goal is, if I have 100 people, how can I do more efficient, better experience for customers? That is not 100 customers, that's 10,000 customers or 5,000 customers. How can I scale this enormously with tech, right? And bring better experience to customers. That's the engine we have to build. So that's why I am very high on AI. I would never, I was thinking, I started this business in tax. I would never imagine AI becomes an opportunity uh, to, tap first, right? Because if you look at the World Economic Forum data, the second job to lose is accountants.
So AI accountants have a worry when it comes to AI in next 3 to 4 years, or it can be sooner as well.
I don't think so. See, in the positive side of it, right, the world needs more accountants, right? Because more SMEs need more finances. Today, the accountants available in the market are not able to serve everybody, right? Everybody goes to Big Four and serve enterprises. Who serve SMEs? Nobody. And 400 million SMEs are there globally. They are underserved. So there's a supply shortage, right? So accountants will never lose their job. It will increase their productivity, their role change into, reviewers and advisors. So those factors change and they can serve more customers.
Even I am a big believer of using AI in every aspect, and it is really making like we didn't have when we didn't have computers, we were doing manually on books. Where we didn't have internet, we were calling and checking. Now it's AI, so it is skilling up us. Somewhere people who are not able to skill up might lose some things, but again, if we look at larger picture, it is going to help us all. And as continuously Sam Altman comes on the podcast and says one man company, now one man can run $1 billion company through AI. So I think that is imaginable. Right now we are able to search, then we'll be able to run workflows, which big companies are already doing, kind of
Yes.
Microsoft who are writing code itself from AI. So I see that coming, or it's already come. It was there with big companies, now it will be there with us as well soon.
Smaller companies as well, and it's going to increase the productivity. Now, tell me one, Gen Z guy that he said, I wanted to be a number cruncher or an accountant. Gen Zs don't want to be accountants, right? Most of the people wants to be investment bankers because that's the laziest job that you can do. And, nobody wants to do that hard labor work, right? Of crunching numbers and drowning in numbers. US has a shortage of 250,000 CPAs accountants. More and more people are leaving this profession, but the market is more need empowering, right? More and more people are wants to have financial literacy, financial awareness. So it's contradicting. So tech only can serve this many customers, right? And AI is still maturing. We still need a lot of human intervention, but still, it's reasonable and decent. Look at the efficiency. It's getting built is huge. Like 80% of categorization is accurate. Even if it's 30% accurate, I'm super happy because that much time is saved.
So let's move to the fact which you're saying about SMEs. See, it's easier said that most of the companies are served by big fours,
Yes.
but somewhere I see SMEs don't want to be so financially sound, and we have to accept that. They are just running behind daily sales, daily works, making their bread and butter. What do you think the biggest challenge with SMEs are? Why they don't want to be financially sound? And how do you think you can solve that?
Yeah, see, there are two problems, right? Now, one is see, let's take a human as an example, right? Every human wants to chill, relax. Who wants to be healthy? But health is required. It is required, right? So the same set of way SMEs. The problem SMEs now, if you look at the data from IMF, I think it's came. The biggest problem SMEs face challenge is financing, access to financing. Why they don't have access to financing? They don't have clean financial data or clean financial management, right? Second thing is how do you manage your finance is equally important as how do you run your company. Now, if you look at the UAE, I'm just saying a specific UAE case, right? 95% of the companies are SMEs. Is it a good metric? No, because ideally it should be 40 to 50% or 60%. The problem is that these companies are not growing, not moving from SMEs to large. Why they are not growing? Because they are not managing their finance well, they are not structuring, putting SOPs, or they're not thinking scaling, right? And they're not getting access to financing. So companies like Financials, right, we give you that visibility, at least, to help you to tell that, your business is doing 1 2 3, this is where you're spending more, this is where you're spending less, these are the things you need to make sure, at least you will have that clean state. Right now the data, 80% of SMEs failed, right? Our closure rates of companies that work with us are very less, very, very less. Our churn rate is 3%. So 97% customers retain, they are also surviving, right? So there is an impact of the work you do.
That's a very, very good number, 3% churn rate. Well, I'll come back to that later because that's a discussion in itself. How come in SMEs you have 3% churn rate? I can't imagine, because I know for a fact the companies who are opening in UAE, they get closed down in 3 years. I think 70 to 80%, and
Yes,
you
yes.
have 3%. Well, that's mind-boggling number. But I'll again come to the finances aspect first. So, Shafiq, can you share some case study where you help a client who was very small and then you were able to, with his right finances, to a large company?
See, there are my earlier stories, right? My initial first set of customers came. One was like a small flower shop, doing pretty decent in terms of revenue. See, if you have a revenue problem, we can't solve, right? They were doing a very good revenue, but they don't know where the cash is leaking, right? They don't have books for last 2 3 years, and the accountant was not able to solve the bookkeeping issue. So we went, cleaned up the books, we looked at the data, right? And then we understand, okay, these guys are purchasing a lot. Their sales is purchase is more than sales.
Okay.
We looked at, okay, so the inventory is, they don't look at what is the inventory reorder period and all these things. So they just go and procure whenever they need something, and it piled up. A lot of unnecessary inventory is held up, and money is tied in inventory. The moment you bring the data, they understand, okay, now I have to control. How can I have inventory management in place, right? That turn around the game, right? We have a restaurant chain, the first set of customer. He had 10 branches, and you don't know the same problem where the money is going. He has cash flow crunch, right? Can you look at that? I don't know where the cash is going, and then we did go into details into branch wise cost centers and did the account. Then we understood 2 branches are bleeding. So these cases, always bringing the data is a confidence, right? End of the month, right?
Yeah,
You're also
exactly.
business owner. So if you don't get the data on table, you eventually take lot of decisions without seeing and because every time founders and the business are very optimistic, right? They want to spend for everything, they want to experiment everything, but you should know where you can spend, how much you have cushion to spend. If you don't look at those numbers, it's eventually fail very faster. So there were a lot of cases like this. We looked at that and figured out a lot of aha moments, right? Oh, this is what happening. I never thought. I had a logistics company as a customer. He called me up. I sent him a quick blurb of what's happening in the business. Like last 6 months, I was thinking, where the money is going. I understand that petrol, fluctuations, price in the fluctuations affecting my business. How did you realize that, this is biggest cause? So this, and it's a, the market doesn't have habit of bookkeeping in this market specifically, right? They don't have habit of keeping financial data. Even somebody coming from Europe becomes the laziest to keep books here.
Exactly.
Right. So that habit has to be built. Once the habit is built, then it's eventually safe. I think there will be a huge impact in the SME ecosystem overall. I can tell many stories like this. This is a regular thing for us.
Well, we have discussed about bookkeeping now, accounting and bookkeeping. I want to know about corporate tax as well. Why do you think it's a game changer move for the whole UAE? And how are you planning to guide more and more SMEs for that, and then helping them with saving taxes as well?
Yes. So it's an interesting piece. Right now, you have a partner in your business, right? That's how the tax I see. Government is your partner who has 9% in your company. In essence, you have a profit partner, right? If you make profit, you have to share with the government. It's a good thing. On the other side, you have accountability now. You are accountable to the government to report properly whatever you make in this country, right? So one, you have to be very serious about your financials and keeping numbers. Second thing, now how this will help the whole UAE as an economy is because UAE was in grey list. So when it is in a grey list, a lot of companies don't put up their HQ here. right? Good companies always hesitant because they always go on a radar in their home country. No, when you are clean, right? When you have a tax infrastructure, you have a tax laws in place, more and more good companies will see it as a HQ place, because UAE has a lot of other advantages than tax, being safe, access to labor, cheap, global labor, electricity. There are a lot of other, facilities that attract UAE, right? And also lower tax jurisdictions. So a lot of good companies will come and set up here. So as a UAE, as an economy, this will be a good positioning, right? And you are paying very small tax, not too much, and there are a lot of reliefs and things for SMBs. Second, you also, UAE is avoiding a lot of money laundering and other things that happens, right? Because now, if you can't do dummy invoices, if you do dummy invoices, you get caught on a corporate tax. So everything is accountable what happens in this country. And earlier, there were companies having $1 billion transaction doing nothing, right? So
layering the money.
Right? That all stopped, and government is going to do better because they have better data of what is the real businesses, right? All the dummy businesses now, even if you tell the big numbers, you can't really factor what is it. So it's gonna help the economy. It's gonna help the businesses here, right? And they're gonna be more financially literate, financially aware. So that's the whole change I see that. And we are on the forefront of it, right? We wanted to help a lot of customers to be tax compliant, right? And save the ways to not to pay huge tax, and more than saving taxes, because tax is not too much here, right? Is to be more compliant, that you don't get off guarded with fines or penalties, which is very huge here.
Little bit about small business relief as well. So I think government takes care of everyone here.
Yes.
They literally think about, because I was recently with a podcast with His Excellency of Ajman Free Zone as well. So they mention it very clearly. Whatever is good for the investors is good for the country. I mean, they're
Very funny.
so the way they think about this country and vision, it's very clear that they want us to make money. And as you said, then they are the profit partners
Yes.
of 9% only. So moving on to the last part, Shafeekh, and the most important. A lot of business owners and upcoming entrepreneurs are motivated from you. The way you have done in last 3 years is amazing. So I want to really get on to the numbers. What was Financials in 2022 and now, in terms of number of clients, in terms of different parameters which can really motivate people who are looking up to you?
Yeah, see, we still have to do a lot of work, right? We are just getting started. 2022 and I remember we started in November, and I had around 9 customers, 2 months, right? And 2022 2023 we went up to 100 customers. 2022 2023 we went to 1200 customers. Then we last 3-4 months we went to 4000 customers in terms of customers. So the growth has been compounding. In terms of team, we have like 136. I started in a coffee shop here, so I was very blessed with that level of. But we, still, when you look at the market, right, 500,000 SMEs, we still have to make a mark. So there's a lot of room, right? And
So where do we see Financials in next 2 to 3 years? 100 million mark of revenue, 200 million. What do we expect as an entrepreneur from our counterpart?
see, for me, I think excellence has no finishing line. This is how I believe, right? The best is yet to come. Time has to tell where do we reach, right? But we really wanted to punch above our capacity, and I really want to challenge myself how far I can take, right? As an entrepreneur, right? Can I do an IPO? Can I go global, right? Build a local brand from here that everybody is proud of in a global market, right? And can it be a company that created an impact to the ecosystem and all the stakeholders, right? So look at from multiple parameters, not just growing, but what value you are bringing. So we have big ambitions as a company. Time has to tell, right? And I will try my best. I'm relentlessly working on this, and my team also. thanks to all my team members are doing excellently well in terms of keeping the mission up and running.
It was great speaking to you, Shafeekh. Again, thank you so much for coming on Business Banking and Beyond.
Thank you, Hemant, and thank you for inviting me for this podcast. And I'm really grateful for this opportunity.